Justin, go ahead.
I got a couple quick ones for you, Matt. Joe Dahl coming off IR, one of those guys. Don't know really the situation with Frank here going into Sunday, but how has Dahl looked in practice, and do you feel comfortable that he might be able to be activated for this game?
We'll see after another day today, but I thought, certainly on Wednesday with the pads on, I thought Joe looked, he looked pretty good. He came out, his pad level was good. I thought he moved well. That was a good competitive practice for us. Yesterday coming off of the padded practice, we knew it would probably be a little bit slower from that standpoint, but I thought, he was, doing a great job. So we'll get through another day today and then go from there. But, he's looked good so far.
Then you were around a quarterback for a while, 6th-round draft pick, went on to have decent amount of success. You look at Minshew, another 6th-rounder. I think maybe some people thought maybe a placeholder there till they could get something better. He does not look like a placeholder. What do you like about the way he plays? And also, can a guy with his kind of attitude, his kind of swagger, elevate an organization or elevate an offense, you think?
Well, I think just as far as, his quarterback play, I think he's done a great job of showing, that he can really be quite dynamic, in the passing game. We know he's athletic. He's got a very strong arm. He does a good job with the deep balls, which they have some phenomenal skill players around him that can run vertical, get open, big catch radius guys. He has that element of athleticism, so they can mix in some of the read option stuff with him too. And certainly the extended plays that he gets out of the pocket on the scrambles are, they're outstanding. So I think he's going to continue to get better. And I think that once he settles into the comfort level of those new guys around him too, and some of those skill players, I think all of that group will just continue to gel, and I think that they've settled the run game down, obviously, with Robinson, and they feel good about where that's at, being consistent. So I think he'll continue to get better. Certainly I think any player that's out there that's producing and playing well can impact a team, and certainly no more than from the quarterback position.
Thank you, Matt.
Yep, I think that's where they like it.
Dave?
Morning, Matt. The NFL has those new protocols for sick players. So just wondering if Adrian is still out of the building today.
Adrian is in the building. He's in the building today.
In the building. Okay. And then the other question I had, two coaches have been fired here in the NFL the last couple of weeks, including at least, one guy that you're pretty good friends with or have known for a while. Just as a fellow member of the, small coaching fraternity, what feelings do you have about, these moves, the time of the season they've taken place at?
Yeah. Look, obviously we all know this business is tough, and those are two great guys. I reached out to both and just to make sure that they were okay. Certainly when any situation comes up, I always think about, how's he doing? How's his family doing? That's really the most important thing, just to make sure everybody's okay. We know what we sign up for other than that, but it affects people's families, and you want to make sure everybody's all right.
How about the time of year that they happen? A quarter of the way into the season, is that enough time for these organizations to evaluate what's going on?
I don't know. I'm not in any of those other organizations, so we're just kind of worried about Jacksonville. But, I think you just obviously feel, you feel for the guys, you feel for what everybody's going through.
All right. Thank you.
Mike?
Yeah, hey, Matt, it kind of follows a little bit on what Dave asked, in that you've been in a situation where you've faced a lot of questions about your own job security the last 3 or 4 weeks. How do you address that with your players?
I think I've probably hit this multiple times in the past. For us, it's just, we're every week just trying to go out and compete and win and do everything we can to get better. And I think that's, we come in, we do our job. That's what we do. So I don't think, you get into anything other than that. You don't ride that wave, and you just try to go out and do the best you can that week.
And I kind of also want to follow on what Dave said with, do you feel like in other organizations that's enough time? Do you feel like in this organization that's enough time to evaluate what you guys have brought?
I'm really focused on the Jaguars here, guys. So, from that standpoint, we got a big game in front of us. We're going to try to go down to Florida and play well.
All right, I appreciate it, Matt. Thank you.
Rod, last one.
Matt, I do have a Jaguars question for you. With Doug Marrone in 2017 in the AFC Championship game, they got there. They haven't been able to have that same level of success. How tough is it for a team that just traditionally doesn't have that success to get there and then to try to maintain that level of success?
Yeah, that was it was an outstanding team. I thought they were playing really well at the end of the year, especially. You could just see, as you go through the course of an NFL season, you see how teams change, and you see how, as you get towards Thanksgiving, those teams that are really starting to push and play at a high level, and you know that they're going to be, rolling through the end of December towards the playoffs. That was a team that was doing that, certainly. I've known Coach Marone for a long time. He actually, when I was in college, he was a coach for the Coast Guard Academy. So, we've gone against each other for a while. He's a great coach. He does a great job, just leading that team. And I think that, he understands what it takes to get to that point. But we all know that every year is a new year. It's a new season in the NFL. There's so many things that change, and, you got to just kind of start over. So I'm sure that's all he's focused on right now is this year. But, certainly I think that for the Jaguars that year, that was a great team.
And in building what you guys had in New England, do you just have to have some type of identity, like you're leaning on your defense? You have to have something when you walk in the door to hang your hat on. Probably not going to really get into the New England thing, but really just, I think, it's all about that team that year that, that you're trying to build. So for us, it's the same. We're trying to work through 2020 and try to get better and improve. And as a team, we'll come together and we'll keep pushing. And we got guys that are working hard. But I think that every year, every team in the NFL is certainly trying to find something that is going to be, who they are for that year. Sometimes it takes teams a little bit longer. Sometimes teams walk into the season and maybe it's a carryover from the year before. I think you definitely see that. Certainly, where there's not a lot of change or not a lot of, differences maybe from the year before, and they can just kind of pick up and keep going. But it's a long season. Sometimes that stuff changes as the season goes on, and the teams that are, trying to find that through the course of the year, that's part of the fun. It's part of the process. Cool. Appreciate it, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Sounds good.
Thanks, everyone.
Yep.